Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Exotic Gaming. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Project Bloodstrike. You're seeing some of the gameplay right here. I would go as far to say that this game is easily one of the most influential mobile games of 2022. It exploded out of nowhere in September 2022. NetEase just published this game on the Google Play Store for a short period of time, and everybody scrambled to the Google Play Store to download this and play it because it was a proper light version of Warzone Mobile. Up until that point in time, we only saw like leaked gameplay out of China. It looked kind of debatably okay, but a lot of people were not that impressed with Warzone Mobile. And then this game comes along, and it was a fully complete game that had a lot of similar features, including the tactical sprint and overall gun reloads and inspections to Warzone Mobile, and a lot of people were super hyped. People said this game looked better than Warzone Mobile did in September 2022, and it looked like this game had a great future. Now, unfortunately, it didn't necessarily play out in that way. There was only a very short period of time where the servers were active, and then they shut them down, and that was it. And there's a lot of people that are talking now saying that Project Bloodstrike is actually canceled. People are saying that because we haven't heard from the developers for about 4 to 5 months at this point in time, that's it. That's the end of Project Bloodstrike. They might have gotten sued by Activision, and they had to shut down the entire team working on this game. But I'm here to tell you guys that that's actually incorrect. If anybody is saying that this game is canceled or they got sued by Activision, that is false. There is no information to believe any of this, and there is every reason to believe that in February of this year, there's going to be some new updates coming for Project Bloodstrike, and if we're lucky enough, that might potentially be a new beta version. So, yes, you might be able to play Project Bloodstrike very, very soon. I have all of the information and supporting evidence that I'm going to share with you all in this video, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Make sure to leave a like if you are excited for Project Bloodstrike. I know I am, so I'd be leaving a like on my video, and subscribe down below because when this game does come back, I'm going to make a lot of videos on this game, and you definitely don't want to miss out. Now, as I said, I have gameplay in the background for Project Bloodstrike, but regrettably, this is not my gameplay. I didn't have any extra gameplay to share with you guys that was of my own. So I went on Twitter, I asked if anybody had some spare gameplay that I could use, and 2 YouTubers were nice enough to actually lend me their gameplay. These 2 YouTubers are ABXY and Cold Mobile, and they're freaking awesome. I will put their links down below in the description. ABXY does very similar content to what I do. He focuses on the news, the leaks, the updated information surrounding upcoming games. Very similar to what I do, to be honest. So if you like my content, then you might want to subscribe to ABXY. And then Cold Mobile is a full-on pro, okay? For a lot of different mobile games, he is one of the best out there. For instance, he got a double nuke in Combat Master, and he's probably going to be one of the best Project Bloodstrike players when Project Bloodstrike comes back. So, yes, thank you guys for sharing with me your gameplay, and again, as I said, their links are down below in the description. Now then, focusing on Project Bloodstrike now, there is a post that is floating around the internet right now that a lot of YouTubers have, innocently shared with their subscribers and their followers that looks like a legitimate post. It even has the Project Bloodstrike logo at the top of it, NetEase Games. It looks like somebody has Google translated this post, but I'm going to get rid of the screenshot right now. You could pause it and read it if you would like. This is actually false. What it says is, it's with a heavy heart that we're here to inform you that we will no longer support the Bloodstrike project. We don't have any intention of making Project Bloodstrike as big as it's become or drawing as much attention as it had in its heyday. Project Bloodstrike was more or less a test. We wanted to see if another Battle Royale game works for the current mobile FPS genre. As some of you guys might have noted and pointed out, we reused assets from previous NetEase games, but we did it to just quickly cut the time and cost for this test game. But hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. The development of Project Bloodstrike will be on hold indefinitely, but it's not the end of the game, as we'll be remastering and renaming the Bloodstrike project to a completely new experimental asset. They once doubled down again, and then they say that this is going to be changing the name of the game. But hey, they're not going to be going into details now. Just focus on 2023. Hope to see you guys there. And then they sign off saying the Project Bloodstrike development team. Now, again, I'm going to show you guys the screenshot. It looks believable. It looks like somebody found this on some Chinese social media sites. They did the Google Lens, Google Translate type thing for this, and it looks like it's believable. But there is somebody that's very important that you can follow on Twitter. surrounding the development and the overall progression of Project Bloodstrike. His name is Improvings. I'm going to put his link down below in the description because he's a good person to follow. He's actually somebody affiliated with NetEase, and recently, a few months back, he talked about how he became a moderator/admin for the upcoming Battle Royale Bloodstrike. He's actually a member of their Discord server, and he has talked with the development team of Project Bloodstrike. He knows them, he's spoken with them, he is much more in tune with them than anybody else out there that's saying this game is canceled, right? And what he just straight up said to that post is, "This is fake and was made and posted by someone no longer affiliated with NetEase." Trust me, NetEase knows and is very interested in making Bloodstrike, even if they change its name and concept. So what he's basically saying is, yes, NetEase is still very interested in pursuing this game. They want to release it to the general public. They might potentially change the name and the overall concept of the game. It's probably still going to be a battle royale, but there might be some changes just so they don't get into any legal issues with Activision, but they are still interested in developing this game. Now, I wanted a little bit more information, so what I decided to do was actually message Improvings because I've talked with him before, and I said, "Hey man, I'm doing a video about Project Bloodstrike to get everybody up to date with what's going on. I saw the post that people were floating around saying the game was either canceled or being drastically changed, and then I saw your response saying that that was a fake post and NetEase is still very interested in pursuing Bloodstrike. Is there any more info you know about the game just so I can give everybody the correct information?" And he responded very quickly. He didn't have to, but he was nice enough to actually give me more information. He said, "Basically, since the last test has ended, the development team has been furthering the development of Bloodstrike. The developers, which I have spoken to, are happy and excited about the future and were amazed by the amount of support, hype, and general likeness people had taken to the game. The so-called cancellation post was made by someone who isn't at all affiliated with NetEase Games or Bloodstrike's development team. Nothing has been canceled, changed, or delayed. In February, there's a fiscal investors call for NetEase International, which is where I have credible information that Bloodstrike and Hyperfront will be headliners to interest investors. The development team for Bloodstrike was small at the time of the test, and with how much interest and support the test garnered, it's natural for them to want to take their time, which people need to understand." So he's basically saying, sit tight, wait, be a little bit more patient. It seems like what inevitably happened was they had a very small team working on this game. They wanted to make it as quickly as possible because they realized Warzone was going to be a big thing and they wanted to make their own version of Warzone Mobile. They put it out there and then hundreds of thousands of people downloaded the game and they were like, "Oh, shoot. We don't have the proper resources to continue developing this game. We gotta stop this, okay?" So then they shut down the beta test. They've spent the last few months maybe continuing to develop the game, but also trying to gather more resources to continue the development of Bloodstrike. There's no cancellation or anything like that. They just literally don't have the money yet. So what he's saying is in February, there's going to be a fiscal investors call, which is what a lot of companies do. What they basically do is they get on this big conference call with all of their big investors, probably a bunch of billionaires in China. And so they're like, "Hey, here's Project Bloodstrike. Here's what we did in September. Here's the support that we got. We need some more money." And all of these investors are going to be like, "Wow, okay, all right. Warzone Mobile is going to be a massive game. We want to invest on another game that's going to compete right in line with Warzone Mobile." So inevitably, they're going to give a lot of money to Project Bloodstrike, and it might end up being one of their most funded games ever. All right, I fully expect this game is going to be as big as Hyperfront and Lost Lights. I just don't think the developers originally thought this game was going to be as big as it was. So we just basically have to sit tight and wait for February when they do have this fiscal investors call. If the call goes super well, then they might literally get enough money to just put it out there very soon after the call. All right, there might be a new beta test sometime later on in February, and we might be lucky enough to play the game within a month. I don't know that for sure, all right? It might still be later on, but I do think after that call, if it does go well, you're probably going to see some post on either Twitter or Discord or something like that from the developers saying, "Hey, we're back. Happy 2023. By the way, we're going to have a new test here." And then they're going to give you some dates. They might say, "Oh, February 27th or March 15th or April 1st. You never really know, right? They're going to say something like that, and then you're going to get to see when the next time you can play Project Bloodstrike. It is entirely possible that they do it like the last time when out of nowhere they just put it out there with no warning, and then you can just download the game. So yes, I will be staying up to date with this, and I'll let you guys know when Project Bloodstrike does come back. All right, so you're not going to miss out on this. definitely subscribe so you actually stay up to date with all of this type of stuff. But don't be surprised if it does change its name. What NetEase likes to do is change the names of their games. They have this code name in an early state, and then they change it later on. For instance, Hyperfront wasn't always called Hyperfront. They actually originally called it Project M, and you can even look up Project M gameplay on YouTube, and you'll see it literally is Hyperfront. But eventually, at some point in time, after they did a couple of beta tests, Project M turned into Hyperfront. So Project Bloodstrike might not be called Project Bloodstrike. It might be called something entirely different. There's a lot of other games that NetEase has made that's basically followed the same thing. I think Project EOE is another one. I think they're changing the name of that one as well. And there's a lot of other ones. All right. So basically, it's probably going to come back very soon, and it's probably going to have a different name, but this game is not canceled. They have still worked on this game over the past few months behind the scenes, and even though we haven't heard from them for a couple of months on Discord and Twitter, that doesn't mean they have abandoned the project. NetEase is smart, and they're probably not going to get sued by Activision. They seem to follow this loophole with all of their different games so they don't get sued by any of the main companies. For instance, Rules of Survival, I think that was one of the first ones, and that was one of the only ones that did get sued, but then Hyperfront came along. I think they haven't had any issues with that game. Lost Light, they haven't had really any issues with that game, and I think they're probably going to have no issues with this one as well. It's entirely possible. They might get sued by Activision when this game gets more popular, but I don't really see that right now, and I definitely don't see this game being canceled anytime in the foreseeable future. NetEase is smart. They do know how big Warzone Mobile will be. They want to capitalize on it just like they want to capitalize on Valorant Mobile and Escape from Tarkov Mobile, CSGO Mobile, all of these other big titles. So they're going to continue Project Bloodstrike. They are going to release this sometime in 2023, and you can bet it's going to release before Warzone Mobile. Warzone Mobile's probably not going to come out for a few more months. They're probably going to have some more tests for different regions around the world, and I guarantee you this game is going to come out before Warzone Mobile. So yes, very soon we're going to get to play Project Bloodstrike once again. It's going to have a different name, but it's still going to be just as awesome as it was before. Probably even better because they've taken many months to be able to improve it. And yeah, let's just hope that that call in February with all of their investors goes really well. I'm sure it probably will though. But yeah. With that being said, that basically covers everything. As I said before in the beginning of the video, do check out ABXY and Cold Mobile on YouTube. As I said, their links are down below in the description. ABXY does videos very similar to me, and Cold Mobile is just a full-on pro with a bunch of different mobile first-person shooters. Thank you so much for watching though, guys. I really hope you did enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe down below for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next episode.